20. septembra 1998. godine u naselju Mojmilo u Sarajevu otvoreno je prvo SOS dječje selo za pomoć i skrb djeci koja su ostala bez roditeljskog staranja. Njih je nažalost tada u Sarajevu bio jako veliki broj i oni su svi trebali određenu pomoć. Mi se trenutno nalazimo u Göteborgu u Švedskoj, a sa mnom u društvu je jedan inspirativni gospodin Michael Karlsson, koji je tada dao ogroman doprinos da se otvori prvo SOS dječje selo u Sarajevu i tada je zapravo krenula cijela priča o nesebičnosti, humanosti i pomaganju djeci širom Bosne i Hercegovine, a sada su ta djeca ozbiljni ljudi, imaju svoje porodice. Mr. Karlsson, thank you so much for your time and for having us here in Gothenburg.
I'm honored and very happy to be invited. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Karlsson, for welcoming us here in Gothenburg, Sweden. It is an honor to speak with the person without whom the SOS Children's Village project in Bosnia and Herzegovina would never have come to life. Let's start from the beginning. How did the idea to help children in Bosnia and Herzegovina came about? What inspired you to take the action, and how did you learn what was happening in Bosnia at that time? How you heard about it?
The whole thing started when I came home and saw a special report done by one of the most famous journalists in Sweden. And he had done a special report from Sarajevo regarding the children's lives and their situations overall in Sarajevo, because Sarajevo was at the time, and I think still it is, the most multi-ethnic city. And so he interviewed doctors and children. And when I saw these small children, I started to cry. I couldn't handle it, because especially in Sweden, we saw this every day on TV, how the war went on and nothing happened. And you saw all these world leaders flying in from anywhere around the world, and they had their meetings and discussions, and nothing happened. And when I saw this special interview, I said to myself, enough is enough. Somebody has to do something concrete to save these children's life. And I took the decision to call Channel 4 in Sweden. They said to me, we will call you after 30 minutes. And they called me back after 10 minutes and they said, we will do an interview with you tomorrow. I'd never been on TV, media or nothing. I didn't even know what that meant. So they came home 9 in the morning the day after, on April 21st, and did the interview. And I said, this is what I can do. So I said, if anybody or everybody can donate $10 or 10 euros, you will practically save a child's life. And they did the interview, and it was aired on the 22nd at 7 and 10 in the evening, and on April 23rd in the morning and the evening after. And I said to myself, well, I have done what I can. I didn't know what kind of effect media had at the time. So I started to, I continued my life. And I was attacked downtown of people that I knew, but I had never seen. And everyone came up to me and said, Michael, we saw you on TV. Here you have $10, 10 euros or 100 SEK. Take the money and save these children's lives. And I was overwhelmed and very happy. And I said, if this is how beautiful, loving Swedish people are, then I will start a fundraising project and I will do everything in my power to save as many children's lives as possible. And then I said to myself, when all other organizations fundraise money, they invite a lot of people and companies, and then X amount of money vanish in cost. And I said to myself, my fundraising project shall be paid by companies. So if I donate 10 euros or $10, 10 euros, $10 shall go directly to the child. Otherwise, for me, it's useless. So I contacted, negotiated, and made arrangements with 60 companies worldwide. Everything from small, medium, national, international, and multinational companies who took the cost or who performed services for me regarding the whole project. And media got very, very interested in my entire project. So I was on TV a lot. I was interviewed by 30, I think it was 39 magazines. At the time, this was pre-internet, and out of 62. And I was on radio and everything. So I really managed to spread the message. And more money came into the organization. And then I said to myself, why don't you arrange, Michael, and produce an international fundraising gala with world-class artists? So I started to think about that, and then I initiated, arranged, and produced the biggest fundraising gala in Sweden with world-class artists on September 11th, 1993, at one of the biggest amusement parks here in Europe that is located here in Gothenburg. It's called Liseberg. And we had the biggest pop group in the world at that time, Ace of Base. We had the biggest opera singer in the world, Birgit Nilsson. We had one of the biggest jazz singers in the world, Alice Babs. We had a lot of famous other international people, and everything is on DVD. The whole gala was 2 hours and 5 minutes. And I also arranged and produced a fashion show in this show.
At the time, Bosnia was the main topic in Europe, I think.
Yes, it was.
Did you face any major obstacles when you were launching this project? Who gave you the most support at that early stages of it?
Myself. Because it was it was extremely divided, even in Sweden. The Serbs said one thing, the Croats said something to me, the Bosnians said something to me, and I said to everyone, this is a human project. I see people as people. I don't want to get involved in the politics, religion, or anything, because if I will do that, this project will die within 24 seconds. So it's going to be a human project. Every human being deserves to live and to be respected and have a dignified life. I always say there is only one race, the human race, period.
In September 20, 1998, the first SOS Children's Village in Bosnia was officially opened in Sarajevo. Who attended the opening ceremony and what was it like?
Well, I have been working with this project for so long, so I didn't know what to expect, because for me, in my mind, it was theory. I never saw the money. Because it went to the organization, I was just working with the project. So when I finally was invited to Sarajevo and Mojmilo on September 20, I didn't know who to meet or what was going to happen. And there was I remember very clearly, it was a big white tent and it was packed with people. And on the last row, you had Oslo Bodenje media, you had national media, you had international media, and there was 2 rows that was completely empty. And I sat down there.
Also, there were in Hayat TV?
Probably, most certainly. Yeah, because they said
we have
Bosnian
material, yes.
TV was there. But I didn't know who, because I just saw a huge amount of cameras and TV and everything. So, yeah, but Hayat TV was definitely there. And then I sat down on the first 2 rows, and there was a couple who sat down next to me, and I didn't know who they were. And they introduced themselves to me, and the lady was Mr. Izetbegović's son's wife and son. And we had an amazing conversation. And they were very, very happy and grateful for what I have done. And while we were talking, they said to me, Michael, my father wants you to come up on stage. And I got so confused. So I, does he want to talk to me about? So I went up on stage, and there were a lot of people there. And then he said in Bosnian, because they told me afterwards that he thanked me for everything I've done for the Bosnian children, and he thanked me from his family, from the Bosnian government, and from the Bosnian people. And he also said that I always have a home here. And the director of the organization said the same thing to me. And this project initially saved 110 children's lives, initially.
What it means to you?
It means everything to me. It's the greatest honor. It's the greatest joy. It's the greatest satisfaction in my life. Because I took care of, I became a sponsor for one of these children. His name is Denis Grosicic, and he was 18 months old. And I remember so clearly that the village mother came to me and she said, "This is your son." And she gave him to me, and he was so tiny. He was 18 months old. He was blonde and had beautiful big brown eyes. And that moment was the most amazing moment I have ever experienced in my life. It was beautiful. I will never forget it.
In October 1998, you were personally invited to a private audience at the Royal Palace in Stockholm by Her Royal Highness Princess Lilian. Can you tell us more about that meeting?
Yeah, I got a phone call from the organization, and the general secretary said to me, "Michael, you have been personally and privately invited to the Royal Palace in Stockholm." I said, "Okay." And I didn't
What now?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how to react. And it's very unusual. So she said, "Be prepared to stay 5 minutes, because this is how it works in the royal world, that you get 5-10 minutes and then it is done." So I was mentally prepared. So then I got another phone call a week or two afterwards, and told me, "Go to Stockholm and meet her." And I went to the Royal Palace, and an older lady opened the door and she said, "Welcome." And then she took me to a room, and then I had the honor and joy to meet also His Royal Highness Prince Bertil. And he was an amazing gentleman. And he and I had a very private conversation first. And while we were sitting there, Her Royal Highness Princess Lilian came out. And she said, "Welcome," and with the most beautiful smile. And she said, "Come in, Michael, let's go into my work study and have a discussion." And I did so, and we sat down, and she said, "I have heard so much about you, and I apologize that I didn't make it to the fundraising gala because my husband was sick, so I couldn't come." So I said, "I totally understand that." And she said, "Tell me the whole story about this project." And I said, "Okay, I will do that." And I sat there for over 2 hours, which is completely unique. That this doesn't happen in these kind of environment. And so we talked about it. And the more I told her that I have done this by myself, because everyone, the media, the artist world, all the companies, I mean, there were 60 companies. No one believed that I was alone. Everyone thought that I had 500 people who backed me up, but I didn't. I was alone. I did everything by myself. And
Man with a vision.
Yes, I'm very determined and passionate. I'm sorry. So, yeah. And after 2.5 hours, she said, "Michael, you want to have a photo?" And we took photos. And I thanked her for the invitation. And I went home, and then I think a week or 2 weeks afterwards, there was a light blue, baby blue letter that came home by post. And I instantly felt that this is very special. Open that envelope very carefully. So I opened it, and she had written a very personal letter, and she signed it. And you have it. So it was the greatest honor in my life to receive that affirmation, as it was when President Izetbegovic gave me the biggest honor in my life, and affirmed and thankful and gratefulness for everything I've done for the Bosnian people and Bosnia.
How heartbreaking is that so little has been learned from the example of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Even today, we see children suffering around the world, especially in Ukraine and Gaza and so on.
This is a very complex subject to talk about, because it involves, I always say that this world is controlled and run by three incentives. It's political, religious, and financial incentives. And these three incentives are combined into one. And these are what is controls and run the world, sadly. So the real true power comes from the people on the ground. If you can make these people understand and realize that if you donate 10 euros, $10, and that the money really actually goes to whatever project, Gaza, whatever, then people are willing to donate instantly. But you have to be professional, you have to be transparent, you have to be respectful, you have to be understanding, empathic, and you have to be able to communicate on all levels.
Finally, do you have a message for all children without parental care in Bosnia and Herzegovina and around the world, especially those whose lives have been devastated by war? What can you say to them?
Don't ever give up. Reach out to whoever is next to you. There is always ways to find help or people willing to listen. And I will be the first one to help any child in the world. Definitely.
Thank you so much for your time and having us.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored and happy to be invited here and that you interview me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.